It's your boy ConserViz34, and today I'm going to talk something in the water day one. Some very sad news out of Virginia Beach, Virginia, for the entire 757 area code. This big festival, one of the first major festivals really to come to this portion of Virginia ever, has to just cancel and scrap day one entirely due to severe weather. And we'll talk about it. We'll have a breakdown of that in just a second of what happened. But this is something that is a threat to anything going on in the springtime in the mid-Atlantic and southern states. You know, as much as the summer is hot, as much as the summer brings certain weather and hurricanes, you know, you see a lot of these fast-moving severe weather systems really transpire in the spring months. The tornado outbreaks in Tornado Alley, the flooding in the Mississippi River, you know, from all the way from the north of Minnesota down to Louisiana. You see all this severe weather with the changing of the seasons bring some crazy storms. And there's one that hit the mid-Atlantic for Friday the 26th. It was not just Virginia Beach. You go to Philly, and Philly has ominous clouds before Philadelphia's Phillies game. You go down to DC, same thing. There's just crazy clouds and storms. Here in Connecticut, we had some mild thunder and lightning, but that was it. But still, a lot of heavy rain came through and just left. I'm recording this at 1:28 a.m. on the early eve of April 27th, Saturday. So, you know, this weather system hit the entire eastern seaboard, really, and it really was the reason that there was no music played for the main stage of the Something in the Water Festival. Now, we start off, and this has been a concern going back weeks, if not at the conception of this idea of Something in the Water. You know, this is a beach. There's breezes, there's wind. When a storm hits the beach, it's going to be very windy. Sand's going to be thrown around. There's no cover for anything because it's an open beach. And Virginia Beach especially, you know, certain beaches have certain covers or certain areas you can chill if it's raining or a storm comes through. You know, that happens all the time in Florida, those pop-up thunderstorms. But I was just down there a couple weeks ago, and there's no real spaces to chill if there's a storm. There's no real places to go and shelter up unless you go into a hotel or a storefront. That's it. That's all you got. Excuse me. But I mean, there's nothing really you can do to have shelter when there is severe weather. I'm not talking a rainstorm, I'm not talking a pop-up thunderstorm, but this system that came through, I mean, the odds of this happening was very, very rare. You know, especially for during the day. You know, you have thunderstorms at night. A lot of times systems pick up at night, but during the day, you know, this was just bad luck, bad timing. You know, it was not just a little bit of rain. There was, you know, heavy raindrop, drop top conditions there. The weather was bad and bougie, and that's why we don't have the Migos and Dave Matthews Band and Janelle Monáe highlights right now going into Saturday morning. And the other thing is you have lightning, you have high winds, and the conditions were not safe for people to be standing in a sandy area with thousands of other friends and fans. You know, it just wasn't safe. And along with that, after the storms passed, there was the sun that came out. There were photos popping up in the afternoon of, oh, the storms passed, we good, let's go, let's get it. But the thing is, things were so ravaged and things were so in bad condition at the venue that they just didn't have the time or resources to have it be safe for people to return back and have things ready in good order for what people paid good money to attend at different price levels. So they ultimately canceled it. Now, but there were different stages to this. There were definitely different stages. You know, in the morning, you know, the weather reports started to become almost final, that you could have an idea. You're looking at the radar. There's more. You're closer to the actual start time. So in the morning, as we're hours before kickoff, there's this alert to the fans in social media saying, look, we're gonna, for now, we can't open up the gates. It's not gonna be safe, and we can't do anything. It's delayed. So we have this delay. We have the city manager, David Hanson of Virginia Beach, Virginia, city manager. He says, we're not letting Dave Matthews Band and we're not letting Pharrell leave without a set. So the big boys, the big girls, Janelle Monáe and everyone that's really towards the end of the program, you're gonna have this hope that at least 2 or 3 of those acts will be able to perform, and they're just gonna go from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. So they will just be wrapping up around, as I'm recording this video, about 30 minutes prior to me recording this. That was the plan. It was okay. That was the contingency plan. So this is not Fire Festival. They had a plan for if there was rain, and in some of the projections in the morning, I looked at it. The projections for Virginia Beach were that it was going to clear up. There was a little bit of a window that you had between 8 and 10 o'clock where there wasn't going to be any rain bands coming through. But, at the same time, the storm conditions and the damage to the beach was already done, to the point where they said, well, we got to just cancel. But at the beginning of the afternoon, David Hanson says, look, we're good. We're going to do this. At 6:30, the rain will stop. We'll clean everything up. We'll be good to go. And then by 8 o'clock, we can let people in. We have, that time frame between 6:30 and 8 to really have the cleanup, let people flow in, and then let the show start 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. But as time went on, you get a little bit of a silence, you get a little bit of chilling, and then, they still say, look, safety is our number one priority. Doors are still postponed. 2 hours later, please clear the beach and take immediate shelter as another severe system is approaching, so they get hit again, and they're going to continue to monitor. And then 3 hours later, you get the official tweet from Something in the Water that due to the impact of today's severe weather at the beach venue, we are sorry to announce that we are unable to put on a show tonight. Stay safe, and we look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow. Pharrell follows at the same time, pretty much saying, hey, Virginia Beach, the weather wasn't great today, but it's clearing up, and we're excited to see you the first thing in the morning. Thank you for hanging in there. We will not disappoint. Thanks to everyone who showed up today, every artist, every company, and everyone involved. Now, here is the bittersweet thing. You have a Virginia formed band, while Dave Matthews is from South Africa. He really stuck his roots here in the States, in Virginia, with the rest of his band, and that's their home. Virginia is their home. They're not going to be able to play. Why? Well, Dave Matthews has a scheduled event in DC. I don't know what it's for, but he did have that on his docket for tomorrow, so he can't stay. And he can't guest in something. He can't pop on stage and apologize or do a quick solo joint. So that means the entire band's not going to do it. It's the Dave Matthews Band. Who knows with individual performers, but the word is that they're going to be leaving too, and they have other things they have to do. These festivals, they're scheduled for that day and that day only. These musicians have many other engagements, both public and private. So we're not getting the Dave Matthews Band. Maybe you have someone else stick around like Janelle Monáe, but I don't know for sure. Maybe you have the Migos stay, but for all we know, they could be in Atlanta right now. They may have saw the weather, saw it was canceled, and flew back, drove back, or not drove back. They're the Migos, they ain't gonna drive. But anyway, the point is that there's probably other plans that have come together for them. But this was gonna be a special moment. Dave Matthews kind of put a video out, just apologizing to the fans, saying, hey, we weren't expecting this, and we'll see what happens with next year, because he kind of seems like he's making a commitment to come back next year, and he says, I'm gonna play. So that'll probably be a big special moment next year, just understanding that they couldn't play this year, and next year everyone will appreciate it even more when they hit the stage with better weather there for next year, hopefully. Now, I think they made the right decision. You know, you don't want to risk the safety of people in an open beach. That's the con of having it at an open beach. You have breezes, you have water that's right there, you have sand that can be destroyed, and there's high winds that just cut right through the beach. There's not much shelter, like I said, for people to shelter in place at the beach anyway, and anything out in the open is gonna get destroyed there. So, and that's what happened apparently, is that things were kind of damaged, and they need to get everything ready for tomorrow. So, you know, they made the right choice. This is what happens when you have a festival. There is this risk of a severe weather outbreak. If it's not by the beach, you know, back in, I believe, Nashville area, there was a pilgrimage festival or something last year, flooding. You go to other portions of the country and you may have a worse storm. You go down to Texas, you may have a tornado, you know, who knows? This time of year is just crazy. The only place where you won't really have bad weather is in Indio, California for Coachella, or out in Southern California, but then you could get extreme heat. And so it is what it is. Next year will be next year. DMB will move on to their next stops coming up next week, both full band shows and a couple festivals there. So be on the lookout for my videos and reactions to that. I'm really disappointed we did not get Amigos and DMB back-to-back set on set. Maybe Offset coming in for Gray Street, you know what I'm saying? You know, maybe Takeoff pulling up for 41. It's not gonna happen. It is what it is. But let me know what you guys think. If you were there, let me know what you think. Spoke with an Uber driver that I had been messaging, and she said it was, all she could say at the time was it was crazy. Kathy Woodson on Twitter just said, you know, they're waiting, and she had some disappointment in the afternoon when they were just waiting for the band to come and they never came. But let me know what you guys think. It's your boy ConcertViz34. Definitely like, comment, subscribe. Your boy's out. Peace.